The autumn sun cast long, golden shadows across the White House rose garden, painting the grounds in a gentle, somber light that seemed to echo the mood of the day. It was October 14th, 2025, a date that would be remembered not for celebration, but for reflection and remembrance. President Donald Trump stood at the podium, his expression grave yet resolute, preparing to bestow the Presidential Medal of Freedom upon Charlie Kirk, the dynamic founder of Turning Point USA. The honor was being given posthumously, on what would have been Charlie's 32nd birthday, a day that should have been filled with joy, now transformed into a moment of national mourning. The air was still, heavy with reverence and the weight of loss, as Charlie's widow, Erica Kirk, stood before the president. She embodied both strength and sorrow, her presence a living testament to the resilience of those left behind. The medal itself, engraved with a Christian cross at the family's request, gleamed in the sunlight, a symbol not only of national honor, but of the deep faith that had guided Charlie's life and work. Its shine seemed to catch the eyes of everyone present, a silent reminder of the values he championed. President Trump's voice, usually commanding and unwavering, was steady but tinged with emotion. His words made it clear that this was more than a formal ceremony, it was a deeply personal tribute to a friend, a confidant, and an American hero whose absence was felt by all. The Rose Garden, a place so often filled with laughter and celebration, had been transformed into a stage for national mourning and collective resolve. The American flags fluttered gently in the breeze, their colors vivid against the autumn sky, as if standing in silent salute. Erica accepted the medal, her hands steady despite the gravity of the moment. In that gesture, she symbolized a legacy forged in the heat of political debate and sealed by the ultimate sacrifice. Her composure spoke volumes about the strength required to carry on. She was not just a grieving widow, but the new custodian of a movement, carrying the torch her husband had lit. In her eyes was a determination to continue the work they had begun together, to honor Charlie's memory by pressing forward with the causes he held dear. The crowd, a mix of friends, family, and supporters, watched in silence. Their faces reflected a range of emotions: grief, pride, and a renewed sense of purpose. Erica's presence reminded everyone of the human cost of political division and the courage it takes to stand up for one's beliefs. For all who watched, this was more than a ceremony. It was a poignant tribute to a young man who gave everything for his beliefs, and a solemn promise that his legacy would endure in the hearts and actions of those he inspired. To truly grasp the weight of that somber moment in the Rose Garden, you have to understand the man whose absence was being mourned, a man whose voice had become synonymous with a new generation's fight for freedom. Charlie Kirk was not just a familiar face on television or social media, he was a force of nature, a passionate advocate who dedicated his life to the cause of liberty and the empowerment of young people across America. At just 31, Charlie had already accomplished what many spend a lifetime striving for. As the founder of Turning Point USA, he built a movement from the ground up, inspiring thousands of students to get involved, ask tough questions, and challenge the status quo. Charlie was relentless, traveling from campus to campus, often facing hostile crowds, yet always willing to engage in spirited debate. He championed free markets, limited government, and the fundamental right to speak one's mind, no matter how unpopular the opinion. Through his energy and conviction, he inspired a generation of young conservatives to find their voices, to stand up for what they believed in, and to push back against the prevailing progressive orthodoxy that dominated so many academic institutions. But on September 10, 2025, tragedy struck. While speaking at Utah Valley University, a place where he had hoped to foster dialogue and understanding, Charlie was killed by a lone gunman, an act fueled by deep political hatred and division. The news of his assassination sent shockwaves across the nation. What should have been a moment of civil discourse was transformed into a national tragedy, a stark symbol of the dangers that come when political disagreements turn into violence. Charlie's death was a brutal and heartbreaking reminder that in a free society, ideas must be met with debate, not bullets. His silencing was not just a loss for his supporters, but for anyone who values open dialogue and the peaceful exchange of ideas. The void left by Charlie Kirk's passing is felt deeply within the conservative movement and beyond, cementing his legacy as a martyr for free speech and a symbol of the ongoing struggle to preserve civil discourse in America. In the Rose Garden, beneath a sky heavy with history, The nation gathered for a moment that would be remembered for generations. President Trump's words were powerful and direct, echoing across the assembled crowd and through the hearts of millions watching from home. He hailed Charlie Kirk as a titan and martyr for truth, placing him among great historical figures who paid the ultimate price for their convictions. The president spoke of Charlie's unwavering courage, his willingness to stand alone when necessary, and his refusal to compromise his beliefs, even in the face of overwhelming opposition. Trump credited Charlie's work with mobilizing young voters and helping secure the Republican victory in 2024. He described how Charlie's energy and vision had inspired a new generation to take action, to believe in the promise of America, and to fight for its future. "Without him," Trump said, "maybe you'd have Kamala standing here today." The crowd responded with a mix of laughter and applause, recognizing the weight of the moment and the impact Charlie had made. The president's speech was a call to arms, declaring that Charlie's fight would continue, and his death would only strengthen the resolve of those he inspired. He urged everyone present to honor Charlie's legacy by carrying forward his mission, never backing down in the pursuit of truth and liberty. The Medal of Freedom, engraved with a cross, symbolized the fusion of patriotic duty and spiritual conviction Charlie embodied. It was a reminder that his faith and love for country were inseparable, guiding every action he took. Trump painted Charlie as fearless, brilliant, and deeply committed to America's greatness. He spoke of Charlie's relentless optimism, his ability to unite people from all walks of life, and his unshakable belief in the American dream. The tribute ensured Charlie would be remembered for how he lived, as a champion of freedom and a true American patriot. His legacy, the president said, would live on in the hearts of those he inspired, and in the future of the nation he loved. The crowd in the Rose Garden reflected Charlie Kirk's broad influence. Conservative media giants like Sean Hannity and Tucker Carlson, along with political leaders and even Argentine President Javier Milei, gathered to honor him. Their presence underscored Charlie's impact, both nationally and internationally. At the center was Erica Kirk, who accepted the medal and spoke with remarkable strength about her husband's love for country and freedom. She revealed that Charlie had considered running for president, a dream now lost. Her speech was both a tribute and a promise to carry his legacy forward. Erica's composure in grief moved everyone, highlighting the immense potential extinguished in Utah. The ceremony became a pledge to continue the ideals Charlie fought for. The Rose Garden ceremony capped a national effort to ensure Charlie Kirk's sacrifice would never be forgotten. Congress swiftly passed a resolution declaring October 14th, Charlie's birthday, as the National Day of Remembrance for Charlie Kirk. This act solidified his place in history, creating a day for Americans to reflect on his life and the importance of free speech. The day is meant for action, encouraging debate, discussion, and a recommitment to civil discourse. Schools and communities are urged to hold events centered on free expression. The hope is to transform tragedy into national purpose, healing divisions through dialogue. Few private citizens receive such an honor, underscoring Charlie's unique impact. Each year, Americans will remember not just the man, but the ideals he died defending. Charlie Kirk was a deeply polarizing figure, unafraid to take controversial stances. His blunt style won him millions of followers and fierce critics alike. He pushed boundaries on issues like gun rights and identity, shaping the direction of the Republican Party. His rhetoric on topics like gender-affirming care became central to conservative policy debates. Supporters saw him as a courageous truth-teller. Detractors called him divisive. Despite controversy, his influence was undeniable. He mobilized his base with memorable, powerful messages. Charlie's legacy is complex, a leader unafraid to be polarizing in a polarized nation. After Charlie Kirk's death, many wondered what would become of Turning Point USA. Instead of faltering, the organization surged, galvanized by grief and resolve. Thousands of new chapters sprang up nationwide as young people flocked to the cause. Erica Kirk, Charlie's widow, became the new CEO, stepping up with courage and commitment. Her leadership brought stability and a new perspective, honoring Charlie's vision while forging her own path. Erica's quiet determination resonated deeply with the movement's base. She became the living embodiment of Charlie's legacy, ensuring the flame he lit burned brighter than ever. Under Erica, TPUSA entered a new era, inspiring a new generation of conservative leaders. In her Rose Garden address, Erica Kirk revealed a side of Charlie beyond politics, his deep Christian faith and belief in forgiveness. Even amid attacks, he held no hatred, often praying for his enemies. Erica's message of forgiveness offered a path toward healing in a divided nation. She reminded everyone that true strength lies in loving one's neighbor, even in disagreement. The most poignant moment came when Erica shared a birthday wish from their 3-year-old daughter to her father. The simple, innocent message moved the audience to tears, cutting through politics to reveal the personal tragedy. It was a reminder that behind the public figure was a beloved husband and father, deeply missed. Erica's decision to share that message allowed the nation to see the full measure of what was lost. As the ceremony ended, the sense was not of finality, but of a legacy just beginning. The Medal of Freedom, National Day of Remembrance, and TPUSA's growth ensured Charlie Kirk's name endures. For supporters, he remains a brave warrior who revitalized the conservative movement and made the ultimate sacrifice. TPUSA's flourishing chapters are his living legacy, carrying his ideas into the future. For the nation, his death is a warning about the dangers of political violence and the need for civil discourse. His story calls us to be brave, to engage in debate, and to value forgiveness, faith, and family. As the sun set, it was clear Charlie's story was far from over, now etched into the nation's fabric. His legacy is one of freedom, and it will endure.